Raghunath, are you ready for this?
What?
The wisdom of the sages trainings that are going on.
Where?
At the Eco Village, the Govardhan Eco Village in India.
Why?
To totally transform your life spiritually.
Who?
You, me, Raghunath Swami's going to be there. Other great teachers are going to be there. Lots of cool people.
How?
You go to wisdomofthesages.com/events. You find all the information there.
Haribo.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Super Soul Farm. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host Raghunath and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody, and welcome to the Welcome Back episode. We got Mara, who's been away. Welcome back, Mara, and our walk on Wednesday, Genevieve Harrison. Welcome back, Genevieve.
Thank you.
Now I'm surrounded by the Satvik posse. What am I going to do? Come to the dark side, you three. No, they're pulling me into regulation. No. Calm yourself, Raghunath. Everything's going to be okay. Is this like an intervention you guys are having with me? Raghunath, we need to talk to you.
No. We like you. We love you just the way you are. Don't go changing,
We want you to
Raghunath.
stop binge eating. We want you to eat at
Don't
regular
go
times.
changing.
The Satvik team is after me. A little intimidated by you three, truthfully.
Oh, come on. Don't be ridiculous.
What's going on, guys?
We got a special giveaway going on. This is the kind of thing you'd get excited about.
I
Raghunath,
love things
think.
like this. I live for like giveaways. First caller.
It's the first caller.
555-1212.
But you know, we had Genevieve on some time ago, and we talked about this tour that's coming up, right, Genevieve? You're about to do a tour. What do you want to do your little walk on Wednesday thing, Raghunath? Or should we do announcements first, or what do we got?
Let's do announcements, and we'll bring Genevieve on.
Hold on,
Genevieve,
just
can
a
you
minute.
get off for a second?
I'll just get off the stage.
Just get off and then pop your head up. Okay. Announcements, Mara. Welcome back, Mara. We miss you.
Welcome
the
back.
whole thing was falling apart without you.
You guys
was-
did great with that.
It was a little awkward. We just weren't quite the same. We weren't on. Like
We weren't on. It was messy. It was messy.
I'm
You know
happy
what's
with
not
that.
even like some of the stuff was a little awkward, like at the end and all that. But honestly, it wasn't the same energy without Mara here.
That's
the
that's
point. Like
nice.
throughout the whole thing, it wasn't.
See, that's
quite,
what
it
you
was
gotta
nice,
tell-
but it wasn't quite as like alive. You know.
Well, I didn't say it was nice. I said that's nice.
I thought
that
it
you
was-
said that.
No. I'm
wasn't
saying
nice,
I
it
thought
was-
it was nice, but at the same
Okay.
time, it wasn't the same thing without Mara there. Even if she's not talking much, it's like she's got a certain. She brings something.
Thanks. I missed you guys.
That
I'm
is
happy
It's
to
got
be
presence.
That's her presence.
That's a
yeah.
better way to explain it, because when I would sometimes have to miss the show for travel and it would go on without me, or you'd bring on a guest, I'd be like, "How was the show, Mara?" She'd be like, "Oh, it was great. It was great." I was like, "Wrong answer. That was not the right answer, Mara." Oh, it was great. Doyle Garanga or Jai Jagannath, they were so good. They're really on the ball. And no,
I'm happy to be back.
Welcome back.
thank you.
Thanks. So today we have back to recovery group meetings at 1 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And there's an asana class with Michelle Berger for our Patreon members today at 3 p.m. And then we should also mention we have no show tomorrow. And
yeah.
then because we're all going to California. And then Friday's show will be at 8 a.m. Eastern time.
8 a.m. So we'll do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Hopefully, I think all. at 8
Yeah,
a.m.
all at 8 a.m.
We got to figure out what to do on Sunday. Maybe we do question and answers both days or something like that. 'Cause
We're gonna figure it all out today,
we'll figure
people.
it out. We'll figure it out.
Put it on our.
But no show
thread.
tomorrow. That's the
No
point.
show
Right.
tomorrow.
Okay.
California dreaming. Is anybody singing that song today?
I haven't even thought about it yet. You know, it's like that's the way I live now. It's like I'm not even.
Oh, excuse me, Mister. In a moment.
I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying, I haven't even thought. It's just like, it's only like at the last minute that I even started to think about it.
He packs light.
I do pack light.
He does pack.
You have to pack light nowadays. It's like the airplane rules.
We're
are, like,
charging you
absurd.
for your necklace.
Yeah, right.
I'm wearing like layers of jackets and pants on that plane. You can't wear shorts over your pants, sir. No, there's actually pants under the pants, under the shorts.
Okay, now we got to
Anyway,
let's talk about Genevieve's tour. You got this special tour coming up, Genevieve.
I
And
do. I
tell us
do.
about it again.
Yeah, so we're going on a US tour. It's the first time that I've ever done that, actually.
Tour.
I have traveled a lot in the US in many years back, but I think in recent years, I've pretty much mostly been in New York and New Jersey. Haven't really traveled around that much. So we're going to be doing a 5-city tour.
Mhm.
And
5
yeah,
cities.
we're very
New
excited.
York,
Yeah,
Atlanta,
New York,
Dallas,
Atlanta,
LA,
Chicago, Dallas, and LA.
Chicago. Right. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. You know, and I will say, Genevieve, besides being one of my favorite singers in the world, I mean that genuinely, she got huge. She took kirtan and mantra music to the next
Taking it to
level. It's quite
places.
impressive,
I
Genevieve.
agree.
Trying to follow in your footsteps.
Well, please don't stage dive.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't match you.
You know, Genevieve came to my yoga class once in London.
Yeah.
That was a surprise.
Yes,
It was almost like a stage dive. I think we threw you up.
that
in
was
the air.
amazing. You got me to do a handstand, and it was an otherworldly experience.
Hey, so we set this up. You're playing at this place called Town Hall in New York, which is next to
Yep.
the New York Public Library. It's a big old theater, right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful theater. Actually, I visited there, about 3 weeks ago, just to check, to feel the space, and helps me with my nerves because to just like be in the space before everybody else is in there. And they were actually telling me about the people that have played on that stage, and I was really
Who
very
played there?
humbled.
Who played there? Tell us.
It's almost easier to say who hadn't, because I went on their website and they had an even longer list of all the other, like Duke Ellington, Whitney Houston. I can't even remember all the names.
Yeah, you should see the people who have played the clubs me and Parmananda have played. Yeah, oh yeah, it's up there with like
Suicidal tendencies.
Cro-Mags,
Yeah, but
Urban Waste. You might have heard of them.
Dirty, rotten imbeciles.
it's a beautiful space anyway.
Me and Parmananda like to
grateful.
go there before the bands have played to like ground ourselves, also to get rid of any anxiety and the potential anxiety that might come if a gang shows up. I don't think there'll be any gangs at your performance, John. Will there be?
Gang of
Hopefully not.
devotees. All
Hopefully
people
not.
can come. All are welcome. It's loved by the gentlemen and the ruffians both in Genevieve's music.
True.
But you're doing something special for Wisdom of the Sages listeners.
Thank
We
you.
are. We're doing a giveaway. I don't think I've ever done this before. It's like a prize draw. We have
How do
two.
we do it? How do we do it? Is it like
Okay,
a
so we have-
trivia question?
We're
Raghunath
not
always
that
likes to bring the
fancy.
trivia.
We're not that fancy. Yeah, we were like, should we give them something to guess? No. We're making it easy. We have 2 pairs of tickets for each city to give away.
Nice.
And we just want you to email us. So we given Mara the email address, officialgenevieve@gmail.com. And in the subject line, just put WOS giveaway. And anywhere you can put the city that you're hoping to win.
Okay.
And then we'll announce the winners. I think we decided on 30th of September, the last day of the month, we'll announce.
You come
the winner.
back.
Yeah, I'll come back.
Okay,
to
so
that.
that's
We're gonna
official-
choose them at random, completely
choose them
random.
at random.
It's not
Now
like
that's-
first come, first serve, like ready, go.
Oh, can we pick them on the show? Can we do that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, live on the show.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
great. That's exciting.
And then so that's official Genevieve. So that's JAH, right?
HNAVI, correct.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we should
Okay,
get this
so we're gonna
spelling.
announce it on the 30th. That's like in 2 weeks.
It's like, I think it's like 10 days.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. That gives
Yeah.
them
And so then they write in and they say what city they want to
Mhm.
apply for.
okay.
Can people
It's
apply
Dallas,
for more than one
Chicago.
city? Or get people?
People
to
can
work?
apply for more than one city. People can,
But only one time for each city. Let's say that, right?
yeah, I mean,
Otherwise, it's like they start to.
I mean, if
Thinking of all
you're,
these
if you're
cheating
really
ways.
keen, if you're really
Really-
keen, maybe you
Can
can
you stuff the ballot box?
Stuff the ballot box.
There seems to be
Okay.
30
It
from
seems like the
Mara.
winner is Raghunath.
Someone was asking, what are the cities again? So I'll just mention it again.
Yeah.
New York, Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, and LA.
Is it like
And-
every day in a row? Or are you like one
We
day and
have
then the other
we
weekend?
have after the New York one, we have a couple days gap, and then after Dallas we have a couple days gap, but in the middle it's like concert, travel, concert, travel, concert, travel. So
And the
that's gonna be
dates,
a little,
they can find the dates on your website.
yeah.
Yeah, her
Yeah.
website's Genevieve Music,
Yeah.
J-A-H, like Ja. Hey, I never thought of that. Ja.
Yeah.
Navi Music, JahNaviMusic.com, and /concerts gives you the
Concerts.
tour dates.
Exactly. Wow, you're so good, Raghu.
It's called reading. I'm not good at many
Oh,
things.
that's
I can
right.
read from the message board. I can spell too, Genevieve. You guys treating me like a child.
Very good.
Very good, Raghu. Very good. Very good.
All right.
All right.
All right. So
great,
that's gonna be
Genevieve.
exciting. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there.
And
in the
hey,
New
wait a
York show.
second. There's a tour. Is there a new album? What is this? Usually, a band goes on tour. They put out a new album. Is that happening?
Yeah, there is new music coming out. I don't know if we're going to be playing a lot of the new music on the tour, but I don't know if we're going to be releasing the actual recordings. We're trying to get them done, but might take a little more time. But we'll definitely be sharing new music. But it's also just a chance to, be in physical space with people and chat together, because the last 2 years I've been doing most stuff online. At least definitely 2020, a lot of 2021. I was doing so much kirtan online, and all I was seeing was people's names just on a screen.
Yeah, that was
So
Not quite the same.
yeah. I also did the music with Willow Smith in 2020, and that was really interesting because through that, also her fan base got exposed to mantra music. And we never really did anything live to kind of invite people who were discovering it for the first time to come and attend something in person. So we're hoping that it captures a wider audience than just the usual, who are already interested. Of course, everyone is welcome, but the venues are large,
Right.
so there's space for everybody. So I've been sharing with everyone that it's a great opportunity to bring, friends, family, colleagues, or neighbors, anyone who you think like
Right.
they would really appreciate a beautiful evening of culture
Totally.
and music.
Yeah.
I think there'll be
Yeah.
something to appreciate for everybody. It's not like something where you have to already be in on the
Right.
the-
It's not
the
It's
secrets.
not like we've been living in the fringe for all these years. You're sort of very broad, gated, open, inclusive. We love that. We love that about you. Yeah, this is a great. If you've got some friend on the outskirts that thinks what you're doing is weird, you can say, "Hey, come on, we're gonna go to this. It's gonna be cool. I think you're gonna like it." They'll probably like. Is Willow gonna be there?
I can't say, but
Top secret.
I won't say no. But
You're nice.
we're gonna have special guests in every city, and we're gonna have a beautiful band of musicians traveling with us. They're really all actually I should
They're
share
really
who's coming,
old?
because some of them are known to the Wisdom of the Sages community. One will be Kaylee Kanana, or Kaylee Woods.
Oh wow! Get out.
Yeah, he's gonna be with us.
Kustuba loves him.
Yeah, I
Raghunath
know.
loves him
Now
too.
Kastuba's excited.
Yeah, I'm going.
yeah, he's gonna be with us. And Krishna Kishore from the Mayapuris, you might remember him.
Of
Beautiful
course.
flute
I love
player.
him.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so and some others that I've been working with over the past few years. Been really, really
You
wonderful.
know who
So
you got to get on your team? Kylie Brown, Dust to Brudge. I don't know if you know her. She's one of
Good
our
singer.
people here.
Good singer. She's here live.
She's here
today.
live. Yeah.
oh, is she from Atlanta?
That's
Yep.
right.
Yes, we haven't met, but we were in touch. But unfortunately, she's going to be out of the city when
In
we're
India,
there.
maybe.
Yeah, in
But
India, I
yeah,
think.
But sooner or later, you guys had to hook up. She used to sing background for John Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I actually think I heard her because I went to check.
She's really good.
Yeah, that would be
Let's get
amazing.
John Cougar Mellencamp while we're at it.
If you can get John Cougar Mellencamp on this tour, I think it could really blow up.
I think
Wow.
you should add a little edge to the concert. I like a
Little
little bit of
Right.
grit.
We need
Matt.
you. We need you, Raghu.
Okay,
I will,
okay,
I
Raghunath.
will do it.
That's a little too much
I'll be
grit.
like the guy in the. Oh, come on, everybody, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know?
he's gonna dive off the stage into a bunch of seated people.
I've unseated. All right, Genevieve, you got to help me out with this. We got to take this to the next level, because the thing that sort of like gets under my skin, from going to kirtans all the time in India, it's
Mhm.
different than going to kirtans if you go to like a Krishna Das kirtan.
Yeah.
Because after the final Hari Om Namo Shivaya.
It's
And it
like
ends, and everyone puts their
Krishna's.
hands in namaste. And there's
Yeah.
like this, like almost like a very peculiar silence. Like you don't
Yeah.
applaud because that's
Yeah.
awkward. You don't
Yeah.
say anything because that's awkward. So there's like this total peace. And a lot of people are like, oh, serenity this is so wonderful. And I'm like, come on, people. This is where you say Vrindavan Bihari Lal Shri Krishna Bhagavan. Okay. And everyone's like,
Monkey
"Ah,
Bihari
there's no
Lal."
jai. There is
Yeah.
no jai. You
Yeah.
gotta bring jai back into the kirtan world.
Jai or Haribol.
Or
Yeah.
Hari Bol or
Yeah.
Vrindavan Bihari Lal.
Yeah, I
That
do.
awkward silence where you're like, do I clap? Do I sit here? I'm new to this. Tell me what to do.
I know. I
Mm.
think it's like it's very cultural because it depends what you're used to. Like if
Yeah.
you're expecting that coming and you know that that's what it is and you know what to do. But I found when I first encountered that, I was kind of looking around like,
It's
well,
evidently-
when should I like should I keep my eyes closed or
you know, that's what I could do. You could bring me for that. I'll be that guy.
yeah,
I'm the
normally
guy while we're eating. I'm the guy who says, Bhagavad
Yeah.
Prasadam ki jai."
You,
I'm that
Genevieve, you actually have to do this because he didn't have a like a role in the wedding, and he's still a little.
I'm a little hurt.
He's still a little
guy.
hurt.
I was walking around that wedding like
That's true.
pacing
That's
back
true.
and forth
Oh
in
my
my
God.
crazy
Especially because
outfit.
I was up there. It's like, oh, Kastuba's up there.
Oh, Kastuba, kid,
That's
Kastuba,
true.
So
What
give
an
him this.
oversight.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
so
gotta do
sorry.
it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
we need. Well, Raghu, I know you're going to be away. Otherwise, we would have been bringing you up on
Did you
stage.
do that show because you knew? Did you check my dates? Did you check with my people? Okay, he's leaving now. Now do
No.
it. Now do
Hold
it.
on.
No,
Where are
no.
you then, Raghunath? What's going on?
I'm going to
Let's go to
India,
India.
Baba.
You're in India.
I'm going to Jagannath Puri
All right.
with Jiu-Jitsu Nath.
Okay, so people write into Genevieve
Official Genevieve at
Official Genevieve.
gmail.com. Yeah, and
choose your
with
city.
choose your city. Write WOS giveaway.
WOTS, Wisdom of the Sages.
Oh,
Watts.
WOTS. All right. Yeah.
Watts. Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, and we have 2 pairs of tickets for each city, so
Exciting.
we're excited.
All right.
Excited
Thank you
to
for
give
doing
them
that.
away.
I
Donovan,
appreciate it.
thank you for joining us. It's always
Yeah,
a
hold it.
pleasure. Welcome back. And
Thank you.
she's
Who
not
wouldn't
going
want to
away
be a
though,
part of this beautiful community? I actually, being here with you, of course, I've been on before, but I'm just realizing the real power of it is when you join live at 6 a.m. because
It really
I'm
is.
normally one of the others, but now that
Yeah.
I'm here, I'm like, oh, this is great.
People don't
It
know
is
what's
fun.
going on. There's music. There's personal. Well, today, and because Mara came back, we
Yeah.
played the Welcome Back Cotter. There's Welcome Back Cotter.
I say hello
song.
to everybody every morning. Like
Yeah.
if you're an other out there, you don't realize that, but I get to feel like I get to know everybody.
You know, Raghu, I think you're spreading a culture of that because I've noticed other people doing that more now.
No kidding.
They'll on the start of something they'll greet everybody individually and say something. I'm like, this is Raghu's thing. I think he's
That's right.
spreading a
You know what?
personalism.
Sometimes we have to reinvent ourselves.
Does
and I think
Raghunath have to figure everything out?
Well, I
though?
have to
That's the
figure everything
question.
out. Raghunath, consultant. That's part of my bio.
Okay.
Exemplar.
Exemplar.
Yeah. Now we were thinking before Genevieve runs off, and I think she's going to stick with us anyway. But we
Yeah.
thought Genevieve, this week is the Khalil Gibran, the Prophet Week here on Wisdom of the Sages. Every morning we're taking a nugget from Khalil, and so we thought maybe you could share a Khalil nugget with us today.
I would love to.
You got a nugget for
Alright.
us, Johnny?
Here's
got
one
a
I
nugget.
prepared earlier.
Okay.
The timelessness. Let me start again. Oh no.
This is a good one. Yeah.
The timeless in you is aware of life's timelessness
Mm.
and knows that yesterday is but today's memory and tomorrow is today's dream. And that which sings and contemplates in you is still dwelling within the bounds of that first moment which scattered the stars into space.
Mm.
Read that again. You ever see that when people write like, let me read that again.
Read that
Yeah.
again.
The timeless in you is aware of life's timelessness and knows that yesterday is but today's memory and tomorrow is today's dream. And that which sings and contemplates in you is still dwelling within the bounds of that first moment which scattered the stars into space. Pretty deep.
Pretty deep.
I don't get the last part of it.
You know
Scattered the
what I think
stars
about
and-
this? Okay, so here's how I understand this. So it's saying the timeless in you is aware of life's timelessness. And, you know, like when we talk about this Vedanta philosophy and the Bhakti Vedanta, we're talking about, like, we're comparing two different types of energy, right? There's material energy and there's spiritual energy. This is when we talk about getting spiritual, right? Let's not be vague and all that. Spiritual means beyond time, right? Like, spiritual means that it's that energy which isn't subject to creation and destruction. It's eternal. And it's saying that our whole philosophy is based on this idea that we are sparks of spiritual energy, eternal sparks, that are, for some time being, we seem to have been stuck in a material body, in a material world, right? So it's very, in one sense, this world is very unnatural for us. But deep down there, inside us, is that timelessness, right? Is that spiritual quality that's beyond time. So the timeless in you is aware of life's timeless, even though we're stuck in this material world, because it's our nature, because we're spiritual by nature, because we are sat by nature, we're eternal by nature. We can, deep down, when we're a little bit awake, we feel that timelessness and we reach for it and we desire it, you know? So it says that timeless in you is aware of life's timelessness, and it knows that yesterday, you know, there's something about us that knows that the constantly changing material world, there's yesterday and there's tomorrow and all that. Somehow our happiness, or the depth of our, you know, of our being, and the deep happiness isn't found in that. And then, so for the second part, I think there's a little bit of like a contradiction in his terms here, but I think I catch the spirit of what he's saying. He says, and that which sings and contemplates in you is still dwelling within that timeless space, right? He says the first moment which scattered the stars into space, and from, you know, like a Vedantic point of view, that might be like, no, he's saying like since before time or something like that. We would say, no, these things are happening in cycles, you know, kind of like when you talk about a first moment, you're not talking about free of time. But I think the spirit of what he's saying is that when we sing or contemplate, then we may dwell within that spiritual energy. And so, like, for instance, what we're reading right now in Bhagavatam, it's really an interesting point. You know, we're in this Puranjan story, King Puranjan. The king represents the soul, and the queen represents the mind, and the city represents the body. So it's like he meets this seductive woman, this queen, but his first response to her is, "Who are you? Where did you come from? What are we doing here?" It's like this is what we're meant to contemplate. And I think what Khalil Gibran is saying is, when we're contemplating like that, when we're saying, why am I here? What am I doing? What's the purpose of all? What's the meaning of this life? What am I meant to learn and understand? When we're in that space, we're in the spiritual space, right? Like, even though we may not have the answers, we're operating on that spiritual level. And also, and maybe you can speak a little to this, Genevieve, you know, he says when we sing, you know, like, let's say, especially in kirtan, right? Like, we can kind of lose track of time, kind of remove ourselves from all of our material thoughts, all of our material desires, all our material plans, set them aside, and kind of just exist within, like he says, we dwell within the bounds of that timeless spiritual energy. Do you go there in your music? Do you try to go there? Is that part of what you're doing?
I don't remember when I started thinking about this. I'm quite a visual person, so I visualize a lot of things. And at some point, I think it was one time when I was in kirtan, I was envisioning life as a line, like your activities in life, and that every time I was in kirtan, this just for me, I was imagining that it would go off into a different space and then come back to my everyday
Off
activities.
that track.
So that space was a space of timelessness, was not being bound to, you know, it's an activity which is it's eternally beneficial. It's all just accumulating. Like my dad used to tell this this story about, or an example illustration about droplets of nectar going into a jar, that it's just collecting through your life, and it's there for you. You know, it's a space of timelessness that connects with the eternal, that whether we're doing that here or we're doing that in the spiritual realm, it's the same activity. It's the dharma of the soul. So yeah, I really relate to that a lot.
I think we can all ask ourselves, like, in other words, when we're caught up in our material world, this type of contemplation or this kind of awareness that's spiritual, that's beyond time, it may be asleep in us, right? How much time do we spend in timelessness? Like, in other words, how much of our day, do we actually enter into that timeless realm? Do we exist, or again, as he says, do we dwell within the bounds of that timeless energy? And so sadhana means I want to set aside some time every day where I forget that I'm, a mother, a father, a spouse. I have this particular business or these particular responsibilities. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do that. I'm not going to be irresponsible in life. But let me take, a half hour every morning and just, dwell within the bounds of timeless energy through kirtan, through chanting mantra, japa, through reading Bhagavad Gita and contemplating these real questions about life. But the shame is, and the sad thing is, there may be a point in our life where we're asking these questions and then that material energy can kind of like wash over us and we just stop asking these questions. How did I get here? What is this all about? Where does this all lead? What am I meant to learn?
And that's why I hang out in graveyards.
Okay.
I'm serious. That's when I have the most spiritual, deep realizations. That's why I keep a thing of skulls in my basement.
To bring you to that timeless place.
Go to this timeless place. When you start even pictures of family and there is my son when he was 5 and that's when he was born and that's when he was 14. And just to see the passage of time, it creates a separation from the net, right? Because it doesn't really seem like we're changing until you see things laid out in a chronological time in the world of time. And
you remove yourself from that, right? It's like you kind of observe, like we were talking yesterday, kind of observe it rather than be caught up in it. You sit here and you observe time, you observe death, right? And you feel separate from it.
And that's the beauty of graveyards, because especially those clusters of family graves, like, oh, look, a kid died, and look, this kid died, and this kid, and you're realizing, like, oh wow, this was an entire family, just like my family.
And we're going to be there someday too.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, Raghunath.
Yeah.
Thank you, Genevieve, for sharing that nugget with us.
Thank you, Genevieve, for joining the show.
Thank you for giving me the nugget to share. Thank you for enlightening me with all of your.
And we're excited about. I'm excited, even though I won't be there. I'm excited for you to this tour, and we want to encourage all our listeners to go October 20th to New York City or any
21st.
Of those shows. 21st, rather,
not the 20th.
Not the 20th. That's my flight. But I want everybody go to Genevieve, genevivemusic.com/concerts to find out all those concert dates, and make sure you're writing for the free tickets or just buy a ticket and just show up there. And
you could always buy your own ticket and then enter the contests and give them to your friends.
If you win it, then you can have your own giveaway.
Yeah,
you could, or you could go outside the concert hall and scalp them. Hey, we got Genevieve tickets. Everybody scalp tickets, Kasula?
Sure.
I've done that too. Okay. All right. We're going to dive in to the Bhagavatam. Thanks for joining us, Swamini.
I'm going to be here. I have to cook, but I'm going to be here with you still.
She's with us. So we may check back in with you, even if you're cooking.
Yeah. We want to see what you're cooking too. So you can bring the whole camera in there if you want.
Ekadashi today.
That's right.
Oh, it's Ekadashi. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan. Unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee. All that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Mara, hit it.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, Text 27.
She even knew the verse, considering she wasn't here. That's pretty impressive, Mara.
I listened to the show.
Did you listen to the show?
That's even impressive more.
So
how were we?
It was great. Kylie Brown did great with the takeaways yesterday.
Oh yeah, Kylie Brown.
She
Yeah.
did good. Yeah, you should understand. She's vying for your position. She wants your
She's
job.
better qualified than I am.
Okay.
So the king has just met. The king again represents the soul.
And if
The
you're
city-
new to the show, we're in an analogy right now.
Yeah, allegorical story here
Mm.
that's being explained. It's being explained by the great Bhakti yogi Narada, right? Like, I mean, you can't really find a more, I don't know if prototypical is the right thing, but like he is an embodiment of bhakti, right? Traveling around, spreading it around. And he's come to the King Prachina Barhishat. And he's speaking to the king through a story, because sometimes it's easier to tell it through a story than to just say, hey, you are an illusion guy, wake up, right?
Yeah.
He's telling us stories. And so within that story, he's talking about another king, King Paranjana, which means that person that's within the body, enjoying the body. That means us, the soul. The city that he's in represents the body. And now the queen walks in, right? He sees this beautiful woman appears before him out of nowhere. He turns to her and he's going to ask some questions. And she represents the mind, really specifically the intellect, right? The reasoning power within the mind. And so all of this has to do with the relationship between the self and the mind, or you can say the self and the intellect, the self and our ability to reason. The nature of their relationship is examined through this allegory. So in text 26, he saw her for the first time, and he began to ask questions. Why don't we read 26 again, because it kind of speaks to the whole thing.
Okay, here's 26. My dear lotus-eyed, kindly explain to me where you are coming from, who you are, and whose daughter you are. You appear very chaste. What is the purpose of you coming here? What are you trying to do? Please explain all these things to me.
Okay, so we're getting to these like kind of origin questions here, right? Like, where did you come from? What is this all about? What are you trying to do? You know, these are, again, this is the kind of stuff that we're just speaking about with Genevieve. You know, these are we're meant to contemplate these things. We get lost and we don't contemplate. You know, this is. Great cultures are built on this kind of stuff, right? Yeah, we get busy and we get lost. Yeah,
we're too busy to think about direction. It's interesting.
Yeah, right.
I'm just going to drive in circles real fast. What about direction? Where are we going with our Lamborghini? You got a great car. Where are we going now?
Yeah, like, what is the meaning of life? I don't know, but I know that if I had some money, it's probably going to be better. You know, I better go out and get that.
I've got to upgrade. I've got to get the latest and the newest and the fastest.
Yeah,
and I got to drive in circles.
And the more that we create these wonderful inventions, you know, technological advances that are meant to bring us happiness, the farther we get removed from it. You know, the further we get removed from nature, the further we get removed from it. You know, great cultures were built on contemplating this kind of stuff, right? You know, you have traditions in India, in Greece, in Rome, you know, et cetera, you know, like all over the world, you know, traditions based on asking these questions, you know. But
we need some of the greatest minds out there to refine their intelligence. It's not like just like, it's interesting how they put it. Like, it's not just intelligence we need spiritual intelligence. There's high functioning, intelligent people that are doing disastrous things with their intelligence. We need a refined spiritual intelligence where you get the same high functioning intelligences, but to put towards spiritual things, or else we're just going to build more. You're going to use it to create more distracting things in this world. And it's like the misplacement. Is that the word? Misuse of great intelligence. The misapplication of great intelligence. Calling
is
all
what-
intelligent people out there. I can't handle everything here. It's
So,
up to
yeah.
you.
Right. And so where's he going to go in this relationship with his intelligence, right? He's starting off pretty good. Like, who are you? Where did you come from? Let's see text 27. He kind of continues in this.
My dear
way.
Lotuside, who are those 11 strong bodyguards with you? More with the allegory.
Mhm.
And who are those 10 specific servants? Who are those women following the 10 servants? And who is the snake that is preceding you?
So this is here we can speak real specifically. If the queen is the intellect, this is a real important idea that's very clearly spoken about in Bhagavad Gita, very clearly spoken about in Srimad Bhagavatam, very clearly written about in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. But when they talk about the mind, these books, they understand that the mind has 3 different functions, you could say. I like to say the mind is like a computer, and it has like its hard drive, right, which is that, it's like its subconscious level. All this information stored, right? All knowledge and data stored, invested with emotional experience, and it's subconscious, right? Most of what's going on in our mind is subconscious. But then, different experiences bring up memory, and with the memory, feeling. So different information that's stored, it comes up, and then it's in what you'd call like the random access memory of the mind, right? Like what the mind is dealing with at the moment.
I like that.
And if so, then in these 3 apps, you could say, function on that random access, function through that random access memory. And the 3 apps would be the manas, which we could call the impulsive decision-making function of the mind, the ahankara, which is the ego or the sense of identity that is operating in the mind, and then the buddhi, which is really what the queen represents here, really that part of the mind. I've been speaking in a more general sense, just saying the mind, but really the queen represents the buddhi, that reasoning function within the mind. And so when he says, who are these 11 strong bodyguards, he's speaking about what is sometimes called like the 11 senses, right? Because you have the 5 senses that we all talk about. They in yoga language, this would be the knowledge acquiring senses, sight, sound, taste, smell, touch, all of that. And then there's the other 5 other senses of action: gripping, moving, speaking, evacuating, and like generation, you could say, like sexual organs. And then there's the mind, and then there's the manas, which is that decision making, right? All of those are all of those senses are plugged in to that one application, which is called the manas. Which is that, again, that impulsive decision-making function within the mind, that particular app. So he's saying, what is this manas, this programmed impulsive decision-making aspect, and what are these senses? And then it says, and who are those women following these senses? That means all the desires that are connected through our senses. So he's asking these. We don't stop and think this way. What are my senses? Why are they pulling me in this different direction, all these different directions? We tend to think like this body and these senses are me, and happiness is to satisfy me, quote unquote, the senses. He's not there right now. He's kind of removed from that. He's more the observer, like we were talking about yesterday. And he's saying, what are my senses? What are these desires? What is my relationship to them? He's asking more like that, which is a good place to be.
Yeah.
Right? But we're going to see that it doesn't last, because the mind is not going to give satisfactory responses to these questions, and he's going to begin to fall asleep. That kind of inquisitiveness, that kind of spiritual inquisitiveness, we lose touch with it. We get caught up in our day to day. He's about to lose touch with it real quick, right here, text 28.
My dear beautiful girl, you're exactly like the goddess of fortune, or the wife of Lord Shiva, or the goddess of learning, the wife of Lord Brahma. Although you must be one of them, I see that you are loitering in the forest. Indeed, you are as silent as the great sages. Is it that you are searching after your own husband?
Mm.
Whoever your husband may be, simply by understanding that you are so faithful to him, he will come to possess all opulences. I think you must be the goddess of fortune, but I do not see the lotus flower in your hand. Therefore, I am asking you, where have you thrown that lotus, my dear? I added
My
my dear.
dear. Okay, my dear. This is interesting. Now he's set aside these questions that he had. He didn't get good answers, right? And he's looking at this woman and he's beginning to say, who are you? Are you Bhavani? Are you the wife of Lord Shiva? Are you Saraswati? Are you the wife of Lord Brahma? Are you Lakshmi Devi? The wife of Lord Vishnu? And then I've seen you thrown that, generally Lakshmi Devi is carrying a lotus flower. And that lotus flower, it represents one's discriminatory power, you could say.
Oh,
and it's been thrown, right? That's gone. So that's symbolic. But really what's happening here is like, he's saying he gave up his inquisitiveness and he's turned toward material enjoyment, right? Rather than saying, what is this material world and what is my relationship to it? How do I exist beyond it or free from it? He's saying, how do I enjoy through it? So he's looking at this woman saying, are you Bhavani? Are you the wife of Lord Shiva? And people pray to Bhavani to get a beautiful husband, or get a wonderful husband, right? And people pray to Saraswati, goddess of learning, to become very learned, right? Another type of opulence. And people pray to Lakshmi Devi, she's the goddess of fortune, or the goddess of wealth. People pray to Lakshmi Devi to receive wealth. And so symbolically what's happening is he's saying, through you, right? He sees this beautiful woman. He says, through you will I enjoy a beautiful lover or spouse. Through you will I enjoy becoming very learned. That which, again, is kind of a type of power, and one can enjoy through that in life. Through you will I enjoy great wealth. Like that. Who are you? What are you offering me materially, in a sense, is what's happened now. So he's kind of lost touch with those more existential questions. And Prabhupada writes here in the commentary, he says, sometimes one employs their intelligence to worship Uma, or Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva, in order to attain a beautiful wife. Sometimes when one wants to become as learned as Lord Brahma, he employs his intelligence in the worship of the goddess of learning, Saraswati. Sometimes when one wishes to become as opulent as Lord Vishnu, he worships the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. In this verse, all these inquiries were made by King Puranjana, the living entity who is bewildered and does not know how to employ their intelligence. Right. So that's he's lost touch. He's thinking about enjoying the material energy rather than trying to figure out, how did I get entrapped in the material energy.
My
You
dear,
ready?
beautiful, my dear.
Oh, greatly fortunate one.
Oh, greatly fortunate one. Sorry. Text 29. Oh, greatly fortunate one. It appears that you are none of the women I have mentioned, because I see that your feet are touching the ground. But if you are some woman of this planet, you can, like the goddess of fortune, who accompanied by Lord Vishnu, increases the beauty of the Vaikuntha planets. Also increase the beauty of this city by associating with me. You should understand that I am the great hero and a very powerful king on this planet.
Yeah. You can read the next.
Continue. Certainly, your glancing upon me today has very much agitated my mind. Your smile, which is full of shyness, but at the same time lusty, is agitating the most powerful Cupid within me. Therefore, O most beautiful one, I ask you to be merciful upon me. My dear girl, your face is so beautiful that with your nice eyebrows and eyes, and with your bluish hair scattered about, I guess when things get really blackish, they get bluish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like a raven or something like that.
I really want to see what Krishna's face really My son was saying, what does Krishna really look like? And I was trying to describe Krishna to this is what we're talking about on the way to school. And I was just trying to describe it. I was just like really dark skin, but like almost like he was like, I thought he was blue. I was like, I think he's a lot darker than like what we think is blue. I
Well,
really want to see
they
Krishna's
say the
face,
closest thing is like a rain cloud, a dark rain cloud, right?
which is pretty dark. That's
It's
pretty
dark,
cool.
but it's got a bluish tinge, you know.
We don't have monsoon clouds. I think we should go just to India during the monsoon just to try to
Just for
understand
this.
Krishna's face.
Okay.
Okay. Certainly, your glancing upon me today has very much agitated my mind. Your smile, which is full of shyness, I read that. My dear girl, your face is so beautiful with your nice eyebrows. I read that. Narada continued, my dear king, when Paranjana became so attracted and impatient to touch the girl and enjoy her, the girl also became attracted by his words and accepted his request by smiling. By this time, she was certainly attracted to the king.
Okay. So let's pause for a moment here, Raghunath, and see what's happened, right? That he at first he had all these existential questions. Who are you? You know, what is my mind? You know, we can look at the mind and say, what is this? You know, what are my senses? What's the nature of all these desires? You know, who am I? What is this world? Where did it all come from? You know, what is the universe? You know,
Who am I?
what is consciousness? These are the kind of questions we're meant to ask. He didn't get satisfactory answers, and he became attracted to the material energy. Now he's decided, rather than try to figure out, let me try to enjoy this, right? Let me try to enjoy this world. And his questions about origins stop, right?
Yep.
Now he's following the mind. Rather than engaging the mind himself, he's identifying with the mind, and he's becoming controlled by the mind. You know, we don't realize how we're controlled by the mind. We think that we're in control, you know, but it's the yogi is like, I'm going to get this under control. And as soon as you try to control it, you realize how powerful it is. Right. I was listening to a talk by the spiritual scientist on this, Chaitanya Charan, and he was giving different examples of how, you know, we walk around not aware that our mind is controlling us, not aware of just how powerfully it's operating. But as soon as you try to resist it, you see, he said, like when you're riding a horse, you know, if you're on the back of the horse and the horse is going this way and that way and you're just going along with it, then it's fine, it's smooth. But as soon as you resist where the horse wants to go and you pull on those reins and it wants to go one way and you want to go another, you see how strong that horse is, right? That it was directing you all along.
You know what? I would love to see a show of hands from the Zoom community on the message board. How many people would love to see the spiritual scientist for Ashram Week at the farm? I think we should get him here. Ashram Week. The guy is just, he's a treasure trove of info, the spiritual scientist. And we're going to hang with him in January. If you're going to be with us in January at the Eco Village, we should bring him on as a special guest in January as well.
Yeah,
he's there.
Sure. And well, he gave another example too. He said, like, we have this phrase, I changed my mind, right? Mm-hmm. And he said, like, it's like, say you want to do something, like you discipline yourself. Like nowadays, sometimes people do digital detox, right?
Yes, a digital detox. I'm doing a digital detox. It's very, very popular right now.
I'm doing my digital, like I'm going to stay away from social media for like the next month. Someone might say that, right? But then they're back. Then they're back. And it's like, well, what happened? I thought you were doing a digital detox. And they say, well, I changed my mind. Well, and so what he says is, did you change your mind or did your mind change you? Right? You see, did you change your mind or did your mind change you? In other words, it was the influence of the mind that dragged you back, you know, and he was going into like just how controlled we are by the mind and how unaware we are and how tricky the mind is. And he gave another example of like a car salesman. You know, like, you know, in sales, people use tricks. Sometimes they're coercive tricks, right?
Oh yeah, we know about that.
Yeah, and it's like, so like a car salesman is like, you know, you're sitting there, they're showing you the car, and you're sitting there thinking like, well, maybe I should buy it, maybe I shouldn't buy it, right? So the car salesman, they get you off that platform, and they don't ask you, well, what do you think? Do you think you should buy it? But they start asking,
you worth it?
No,
they usually say something like that. You don't think you're worth that?
Aren't you worth this car? But they'll say something like, would you like this car with, like, you know, the leather seats or the vinyl seats? You know, would you like, you know, in others, they start to ask you questions that make you think that you're in control.
Right.
Oh, I have the choice of whether I want to buy like the leather or vinyl seats. Like that's my choice. I'm free. I'm operating right now. I'm in control. They just got you thinking that through their particular, you could say, tricky
leading questions.
questions. And so he was saying that this material world is like that. It's got us convinced that we're making decisions.
To even tell somebody they're not the controller, like it's not their choice, they're like, what are you talking about? Of course I made the choice to drink or to smoke or to wear this clothes. It was my choice. No, you saw it in a magazine, you thought it looked good on her or him, and now you went out and purchased the same thing. We're being completely, and we think that people will love me more if I do this, if I have this particular type of body. It's no longer our choices. We've outsourced our intelligence almost to any type of media that we're consuming.
Right. Yeah, and exactly. He the point that he made was that freedom is most effectively taken away by giving the illusion of freedom.
Ooh.
Right. We think that once we're locked down, but we're given this little realm of so-called freedom, and we think we're free. And so,
if we're steeped in this Rajas and Tamas, it's like we've outsourced our choices to lust and greed.
That's right.
Lust and greed are making that. You want an lust? If you don't want an arranged marriage, well, lust will arrange your marriage for you. Or greed will arrange your situation for you.
It's like there are two choices, two fundamental choices. Will I find my happiness through divine love and service, like devotional service? Or will I find happiness through enjoying the senses in the material world? And the mind is saying it's becoming programmed by the material world to pull us in that direction. And when we're in that direction, it offers some choices. And because we can choose A, B, or C, we think we're free. But actually, we're not free at all. We've been. It's kind of like, you're standing in line at the prison cafeteria, and you can choose between whether I want the tacos or the ravioli today or something like that. You're not free.
It's like the parent, a good parent doesn't give the young child that many choices because it's too overwhelming for the child. They say, which raincoat do you want to wear today? The blue raincoat or the red raincoat? Meaning they're going to wear a raincoat either way.
Right. Yeah. So you just get them going that way. And So that's an important point, that if freedom is most effectively taken away by giving the illusion of freedom, then let me examine what I consider my freedom, and see if it exists within that realm of like my freedom, my ultimate freedom having been taken away. So here the king, he's entering in that realm where he's entering into bondage. For a moment there, he was kind of free thinking. Where am I? What is this? Who are you? Where did this all come from? What is it all about? What is it meant to lead to? Now he's kind of lost, and the mind is directing him. He's not directing his mind now. The mind is directing him. He's losing his freedom. And we'll read more about it on Friday. There's no show.
Because it's 7:00 right now.
All right.
Mary, you got some takeaways for us, please?
I do. I got some good stuff today.
Good goodies.
So, yes. Spiritual energy is beyond time.
Goody.
Spiritual energy is beyond time.
Yep. Dwell within the bounds of spirit.
Goody.
Nice. Every day.
Don't be too busy to think about direction.
Goody.
Refine your choices and intelligence.
Yes.
Don't confuse the queen of the mind with the queen of Vrindavan.
Oh,
Pretty good.
esoteric here.
Yeah, Kylie Brown on the
Kylie
ball.
does the verge. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Did you change your mind, or did your mind change you?
Oh,
That's
I
a good
like that.
question.
That's a tattoo. Maybe you and Genevieve should both get that tattoo.
We got matching tattoos.
For the show, in time for the show.
Yeah, in time for the performance.
Beware of outsourcing your intelligence to the media we consume.
Mm-hmm. Don't outsource it.
Don't outsource it.
Don't let lust arrange your marriage.
No, that's a good one. Don't let lust arrange your marriage.
Let Raghunath do it.
I'll do it for you.
Or arrange your marriage to devotional service. Another way to
Okay.
put it.
Not as catchy as the lust one, but yes.
Yeah. Hang out in graveyards.
Hang out in graveyards, people. It's good for you.
And bring back Jai.
Bring back
Vihara.
Jai.
Yeah.
At those kirtans.
Okay.
Quiet, everyone. You don't even say anything. They put their hands in namaste. It's just like quiet. A deafening quietude Right? Isn't that weird? Come on, Casiva, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't remember experiencing that, but I'll keep my eye open for it next time.
You got to go to more kirtan.
My body kirtan.
Hare Krishna. Thanks everybody for joining us on Zoom. That was fun. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody. We had a lot of people join in late. I didn't get to say hi to everybody. Mr. Smith. Yes. And thanks for everybody supporting us on Patreon. It really makes a difference. That's how we're doing this. If you like the show, this is how we're doing it. You're supporting us. I want to thank everybody, encourage everybody who's not doing it to go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages and help support us through a monthly contribution of your choice. Of your choice, whatever you want to give. It goes a long way, believe it or not. And this podcast is becoming like a full-on 24/7 thing, but it's great and we love it. And then we love everybody here. Hey, Catherine Hayes here. Hey, Catherine, with your shaved head. Hare Krishna. Catherine, you're starting a trend. Everybody's shaving their head. Paige Family Bhakti shaved her head, I think. No,
The whole family.
It looks like it. No, she's got headphones on. Dominica shaved her head. Steve Amari shaved his head again. And Genevieve Harrison, she's shaving her head right now. You should do it for the concert, Genevieve. We want to thank Genevieve Harrison for joining us live today. Again, her concert is October 21st in New York City. Go to her website. What's that website again, Mara?
JohnnyVmusic.com.
JohnnyVmusic.com.
Or to win
Slash
tickets.
Concerts or something. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can write to officialjohnny@gmail.com to put in your name to win a pair of tickets.
All right.
I'm looking at Karuna and Madhuri over here. They're growing up a little bit. They're both looking
They're growing
just
up. They're both growing up.
They're both growing up.